little girl who moved into a house with her parents. She is constantly bored and unhappy, and her parents don't give her the attention that she desires. While exploring her new house, Coraline finds a small door that leads to an alternate universe, or an alternate version of her reality where her parents are fun and attentive and where everything is magical and wonderful. In this sense, the premise of Coraline is similar to the stories such as Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland, and Labyrinth. All of these movies, including Coraline, follow the same basic
blueprint.
The protagonist is always a young girl that is curious, fearless, resourceful, and not afraid to speak her mind. She is bored with her life and wishes for fun and adventure, and she magically enters a world that is strange but wonderful. For this reason, these stories are used as programming tools in actual mind control sessions. These storylines encourage slaves who are being tortured to escape the trauma by dissociating from reality and entering an alternate reality programmed by the handler. By doing so, the brain disconnects from the body and the sensation of pain disappears. While watching The Wizard of Oz, slaves are told to go over the rainbow, and while watching Alice in Wonderland, you must walk through the looking glass. Coraline follows a similar script as the protagonist goes through a small door to access the wonderful alternate reality. This world is everything Coraline wishes for, but there is one small hiccup. It's totally fake and created by the sadistic handler to manipulate her. Let's look at the movie's protagonist. Coraline is voiced by Dakota Fanning, a child star that was about 15 years old when working on the project. And she also has appeared on other MK-themed movies, such as Hide and Seek. The character appears to have a magical side. At the beginning of the movie, she is shown practicing the ancient occult activity of dowsing, or water witching. Later in the movie, Coraline's father calls her a twitchy witchy girl while singing to her. Throughout the movie, magical supernatural things happen all around her. However, we later discover that these things are traps meant to lead Coraline to the handler. All of these scenes allude to the witchcraft aspect involved in MK programming. At one point, YB gives Coraline a strange gift, a doll that looks just like her. In MK symbolism, dolls represent the slave's alter persona. Coraline will call this doll Little Me. Coraline brings this doll everywhere she goes. However, sometimes the doll appears to lure Coraline to places where the handler wants her to go, the alternate world, or in MK terms, dissociation. Coraline finds a small locked door in her house. When her mother unlocks it, the door leads nowhere. However, at night, Coraline is led back to the door and she finds out that it leads to an alternate reality. And it's also purple. Purple is the color of mind control, hence purple haze, whatnot. When Coraline goes through the door, she enters back into her house, but everything is slightly different. Everything in the other world is tailor-made to charm Coraline and fulfill her needs, which are the needs of all children, like receiving attention from parents, having fun, and discovering wonderful things. The handler therefore knows exactly which buttons to push to get a positive response from Coraline. Knowing that Coraline is upset with the disgusting food at her real parents' house, the other mother projects a warm and comforting side that her other mom doesn't possess by preparing a home-cooked meal for her family. In the other world, Coraline's father created an entire garden that looks just like Coraline's face when seen from above. This is another way to win her over, by tapping into her need of being the center of the world like all children. Everything is made especially for her, and everything is made to make her feel special. As expected, Coraline realizes that she likes it better in the other world, but things get creepy very quickly. While at first, the movie caters to everything children like, it then turns into everything that scares children. Many parents reported that this seemingly child-friendly movie terrified their children and gave them nightmares. Other mother asks Coraline to stay with her forever, but to do so, Coraline must let other mother sew buttons over her eyes. The other parents ominously call Coraline our little doll and tell her that soon you will see things our way. Sewing buttons onto her eyes would mean that she's permanently become the handler's puppet, who would then, as the movie states, devour her soul. In MK terms, she would lose control of her core persona by staying stuck in the dissociative world created by her handler, the equivalent of devouring her soul. The concept of eyes and lack thereof is extremely important in this movie, as it is in actual MK programming symbolism. While the occult elite represents itself with the all-seeing eye, mind control is represented by removing eyes, causing the slave to lose sight of reality. Here's a movie poster featuring the all-seeing eye inside of a triangle, and it's not even disguised. When Coraline refuses the button deal, the other mother gets angry and we see her true form, a skeletal spider-like monstrosity. Coraline is then locked in a room where she finds the ghosts of other kids who became the handler's slaves. In this scene, the ghosts are hiding one eye while asking Coraline to find their eyes, the only way their souls will be freed. To find the ghost children's missing eyes, Coraline must use a symbolic tool, a triangle with a hole in it, otherwise known as a hagstone or a witch's stone, and it's totally played into another all-seeing eye. The ghost children call the other mother the Beldam, which means ugly, evil-looking old woman. The word also resembles the term Grand Dame, the title given to important women in the Illuminati mind control system. Not so coincidentally, the Beldam in Coraline basically plays the role of the Grand Dame in mind control programming. In Monarch Mind Control, the Grand Dame is one of the 3 people that assist in the programming of young slaves, like in Coraline. The Grand Dame is somewhat of a twisted mother figure. Throughout the film, Coraline is told that there is only one key that can open and lock the door to the alternate world, and the Beldam desperately wants it. This key represents access to Coraline's psyche. Either Coraline has control of it or the Beldam does. For this reason, there is only one key. In her quest for freedom, Coraline is not alone. She is helped by a strange character, a black cat that first appears to Coraline while she's water witching at the beginning of the movie. In European folklore, black cats were believed to be witches' familiars, spirits who aid and protect them while they accomplish their magical work. In Coraline, the black cat basically plays the same role and becomes vital to her succeeding. While the cat appears to Coraline in the real world, he also appears in the other world, and with no buttons on his eyes, I might add. Furthermore, when in the other world, the cat can also speak with her. The cat also seems to know a lot about the Beldam and the world she has created. In this scene, the black cat shows Coraline how the other world is a fake construct created by the Beldam to lure Coraline. In MK terms, the black cat is showing Coraline the confines of the dissociative world. While the black cat appears to be of great help, he also tends to lead Coraline into the Beldam's traps. In this scene, the black cat leads Coraline back to the portal to the other world, causing her to dissociate again. So is the black cat helping or manipulating Coraline? The very end of the movie might provide an answer to that. After some adventuring, Coraline saves the ghosts by finding their eyes and destroying Beldam's constructed world. She then throws the key to the other world, which represents her psyche, down the magical well she found while water witching. Coraline then happily goes back to her real world and tries to make the best of her real life. Her family organizes a party in the garden, the same garden that was made to look like Coraline in the other world. As the view of the garden pans out, observant viewers might realize something odd. The garden is shaped like the face of the Beldam. While many viewers probably did not even notice this almost subliminal tidbit, it has a heavy meaning. It represents the Beldam imprinting Coraline forever. We're left with little hints that things might not be all so well and good. The movie ends with the black cat magically disappearing behind the post. To me, this is emblematic of the alternate world still being present. While at first glance, the movie Coraline appears to be a cautionary tale about appreciating what you've got and not falling for things that are too good to be true, the movie's dark and twisted imagery hints to a deeper concept. As proved by a number of screenshots used in this video, the movie contains a wealth of subtle symbols that tell their own story, one that is laced with occultism and the dark process of monarch mind control. The entire movie is based on the symbolism of a menacing hand, representing the handler, manipulating a young girl, luring her into a world created to appeal to her psyche. When Coraline escapes, dissociates to the other world, the concept of buttons replacing eyes represent the illusory nature of this world and the blindness of those trapped in it. In the end, Coraline appears to vanquish her foe, but as subtle symbolism suggests, she might have simply done exactly what was expected of her all along. This movie, which features visuals based on the comforting feel of arts and crafts, nevertheless alludes to mind control. In short, it is deception at its finest, as it is the case with many other works in the mass media. Coraline's hidden meaning can only be understood by those who have eyes to see. Unfortunately, most people still have buttons.